This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we are being recorded, so welcome. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Let me share my screen. All right, so you should be looking at Logos. All right, well, got some good requests. Bill had mentioned some items, including the docs menu, the guides menu, and then the managed document sharing feature. So that's an important item too. So I don't know if you guys noticed or not, there Logos did release an update earlier today. So I got both my machines updated.
You also wanted to wanted us to remind you to set a filter for the happy.
Yep, filter for happy. And I did that earlier, and I'm going to show you guys what I did on that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep. And that'll actually work out very well because visual filters are the kind of documents that show up under docs, and then sharing those to make those available to church members or other people, that is also useful. And let me see. All right, so let's start with the docs menu, and then I'm going to take these probably a little bit out of order. I'll start with docs, and we'll see if we get that far, and then guides, because there's a lot of guides. So these are the menus that are at the top here next to your search, your go button. And you got docs, guides, tools. And under docs, depending on how many you've made, for example, this list is going to get unwieldy very quickly because I have way too many docs. But I do recommend that you have your side panel open. It just toggles open and close like so many other do. It's called the sidebar. Open or close the sidebar. And having the sidebar open all the time to show your filters, it doesn't really take away anything. In fact, it's kind of a useful feature there. Also, I don't know if it's necessary to have the information panel open. We'll leave that closed for now. This is another toggle on and off, is the information button near the top right. And that's more important, I think, in the library than it is in the docs, but we'll let that go for now. All right, also keep in mind, when most of the documents you're going to be looking at are going to be yours. And that's why it says yours, your documents. But eventually you'll start having some shared documents in your groups. And so these are the documents that I have either shared with other groups or that other groups have shared with me. Like Morris Proctor has shared quite a few. And I'm a member of his Faith Life group. So any of these things that Morris has created and shared with his group members, I have them available and I can open them and I can make use of them. I can even make my own personal copy, which will then show up under yours. There's also public documents, and I haven't done a lot with these, but a whole lot of folks have, and they've really shared a lot of these. They're pretty proud of the ones they've come up with. So once they put them together, then they just share them with the whole Logos universe, and they make them public documents. And I haven't really searched through those too much, so I'm not going to talk about those here tonight. But there seem to be a ton of them. Over 7,000 of them in English, so that's a lot. I'm going to start with yours, okay? And then I'm going to expand the filter for type. And this will be useful for us to see the different types of documents, okay? And the order they populate these in is the order of largest to smallest. So the top sermon, the top type that I have of document is the sermons document, which is a bit misleading. I really haven't created any sermon documents, but I've created sermon headings for next year's Through the Bible series. So they're showing up there as individual documents. Your notebooks are going to show up as documents. your passage lists, visual filters, resource collections, word lists, canvas, morph query, prayer list, reading plan, word find puzzle, syntax search, clippings, handout, and bibliography. These are all the different kinds of documents that you can create inside of Logos. And probably the most complicated thing about docs is the title docs, okay? Because when I see docs or documents, I'm thinking Microsoft Word, I'm thinking I'm creating a document or a PDF document or something external to Logos that I can type and read and email. No, these are Logos documents. And so one by one by one, it's probably useful to show you how these get made, all right? So let's start with that. Any questions on that before I start jumping into some of these? You'll need to boost your volume there, Ed. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me better?
Barely. You're really, really low.
Hold on a second. I don't know how to do it. Don't worry about it. I'll just listen.
Okay,
I'm
so
good.
you're good? All right. So to create a new document then, you can simply come up here and click Docs, and then the blue button on the top right says Create a New Document. Once you click it, now you gotta, all the options are set before you, and this is an alphabetized list. So do I want a new bibliography, a new canvas, new clippings, new morph query, new passage list, new prayer list, new reading plan, sentence diagram, sermon, syntax search, visual filter, word find puzzle, word list. These are all the kinds of documents that you can create, okay? And really, this is probably the least common way that I've ever created a document. I will typically create passage lists from a search result, or I'll create a visual filter from a search result. Most of these will be created using other utilities, but we can still show you how to do these. So let's start with a word list. We want to start a new word list, okay? And we'll give this a title. What do I want to do? I want to find a word list. Give me Bill or Ed or Carl, what's a word list you'd be interested in?
Happy.
Happy, okay. Happy words. All right, so these are going to be happy words. All right, so to create a word list for happy words. So you can manually add one just like that with the add button there. You can add a lemma from the New American Standard Bible or any of the other Bibles. I tell me, go ahead and open my Bible again here. And let's go to Psalm 1:1. And you'll see that my filter has already been applied there. I told you on Sunday I was going to make this. So what happened is this word got crossed off, and then the word happy got put in there. So instead of how blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, it's how happy is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked. And so before we're done tonight, I'm going to show you how I made that visual filter and how you can I can share that, and you can apply that as well. So this is a word for happy. Let me go ahead and
Hey, Bob, is that in the plural?
no. Asheray, that's singular.
I
Or maybe
think
it is
it's
plural.
the plural construct.
Common masculine plural construct. Ha'ish. Yep.
That's what we talked about the other day.
Uh-huh.
It would look like it ought to be single because it's talking about a predicate nominative with the man, but actually it's in the plural.
It's a plural construct. This is Makarios is singular in the Septuagint. Yep. All right. I would recommend for something like this, opening up, and this is a chance now to show you one of the guides. Go ahead and open up a, let's see, translation guide, Bible word study. Let's just search for happy. All right, so if you saw how I did that, I went to guides and I went to Bible word study. And then under Bible word study, I put in the word happy and I hit go, that arrow there. And now I've got two panes are now populated, the Hebrew words and the Greek words. You see the Greek word is pretty simple there, it's Makarios. The Hebrew words though, we've got an assortment of them here. So this would actually be a marvelous list of words. There's the Ashereh, there's the Asher, there's the Beth prefix with the Asher, Esher. All right. Anyway, so these are the different words, and we can do these in different ways. We can go by one and start adding them to this list of words. We can do a search and put all those words in there. I may have to research this week and find some of the better ways to do this. But that's what the word list is for. There's other ways to do other word lists. Let me show you an example of some word lists that I've already done. I have 24 of them, including this happy words I just created today. Personal greetings in Philemon. Okay, I made a word list out of these 5 names. Forgotten I did that. Sometimes I end up with these documents and I wonder, why do I have these? Here we go, here's a word list. These are all the lemmas that are found in Genesis 6, verses 11 through 13. And so all of the lemmas that are in those verses, made a word list out of them. What else have I done with word lists? I've done vocabulary words using the Duff Greek grammar, words that are unique to Philippians. Thought this was a useful list of words when I was searching through. Anyway, those are the kind of things you can use for your word lists. Other kinds of documents besides word lists. Canvases, that's a whole class all unto itself, and I'm really not good at it. I need somebody to teach me a class on how to make better canvases. I'm not artistic, I'm not talented in any graphical kind of way. People who like to draw, like I know Bill does, can probably do amazing things with the Logos canvas. Clippings documents. Clippings documents. I don't have too many of those. What do I have for clippings? I might have a couple. Things that catch my eye, and then web pages for future reading. And I don't really use that second one for much. All right. But a clipping document is handy just for raw research. And this things that catch my eye clipping document is essentially it's like a yellow legal pad. It's just a long single page thing that you can scroll down, and things that you find, things you want to clip, things you want to bookmark. These are just raw notes for future study, things you're going to come back to, things you want to look at later. That's why I call it things that catch my eye. And so sometimes if there's something that catches my eye, like this Ashereh here, I might want to select it, right click it, and then I'm going to come down here to add a clipping to things that catch my eye. And now I've got a clipping there. And then just jot myself a little note, anything I want to do with it. I'm going to say, what is the significance to this being a plural noun or a plural adjective? So that's my clipping, okay? And you can have any number of clippings. In a sense, it's like a miniature version of notes. I don't know. It's probably more useful to make a note out of it instead of a clipping out of it. But there you have it, okay? Other documents include morph queries. I prefer to do those when I'm actually doing a search. Passage lists, again, I prefer to do those as a result of a search, but we can just manually create a passage list. So yeah, like I say, most of these you can just create from scratch, or you're better off generating them based upon other things that you're doing.
Hey, Bob, we don't have all of those.
All right, which ones do you have?
Well, I'll tell you which ones I don't have. I don't have the morph query.
Okay,
I don't have the canvas.
okay,
I don't have the sentence diagram. That'd be kind of neat to see, though. Sermon or syntax search.
okay.
That's what I don't have. I guess that's just the package they gave us.
Right. Yeah, there's different upgrades you can get to get those.
Can you do a sentence diagram though?
I don't know.
What can you do a sentence diagram for for the first one there? Do you ever use that?
I've never used this before. So here's my practice sentence diagram. All right. We want to insert a passage. Psalm 1:1. Line diagram or text flow diagram. Wow.
You know, there's two ways to diagram a sentence. The way you learn in third grade, and then they had another way to do it when I was in college, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to diagram a sentence.
I'd like to see a line diagram if I could that shows the. It asked you if you wanted to do a line diagram.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, can you go back to the very start? Because that's what it was. I mean, I don't want to waste a lot of time on that, but this could be interesting.
Yeah, what I need to do is find a tutorial, a Morris Proctor tutorial for this.
It might even be helpful. I mean, I can't imagine it wouldn't be.
Right. But it looks like now you can make selections, you can insert lines, arrows, ellipse. You got quite a selection of tools there.
Oh, I see. So you can do it yourself.
Right.
All right, I got you. He doesn't necessarily do it for you,
Right.
maybe. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anyway, so those are your docs, including your notebooks. These are all the notebooks that I have. That's a ton of notebooks. 128 notebooks. So then, as far as sharing these, Okay, let me show you a visual filter. Visual filter. All right, so I've got 52 visual filters. And this is the one I made today on Blessed Happy. All right, so the visual filter, when you make a new visual filter, you can manually make one, such as a window such as this, or you can make one as a result of a search, and that's probably the easier way to do it. But let's just say there's a you got a favorite word, you love that word. Let's say, and you want to emphasize it every time it shows up in the Bible, right? So whatever that word happens to be, maybe the word is chesed or whatever. Let's just do I want to do this the manual way or the search way? Let me start with a search. All right, so I'm going to do a Bible search, all passages for the lemma chesed. And make sure I type it correctly. There it is. Chesed, loyalty, faithfulness, goodness. This is the one. All right. So every time chesed is found in the Bible, of course, it'll be in the Old Testament, and there's all the uses of chesed. Okay, 245 of them. Now, a visual filter is like a permanent search. A visual filter, what that does, so I'm going to come up here and we'll have the search window open. You'll notice we'll just take the first one there is Genesis 19:19. So there's the loving kindness, there's the chesed. All right. Now the visual filter, now right now because it's searched and the search result is open, then it's highlighted. But as soon as I close the search, the highlight goes away, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and reopen that search. This is the history of all recent searches. There we go. So now what the benefit of having a visual filter is that allows you to tag the text and keep it tagged even when that search result is closed. Okay. So for example, with the blessed and happy search that I did, let me just show you this one first, then I'll show you that next one. So here's the 245 results and 239 verses. Now let's just say what I want to do, I want to always have this flagged. I want to always have this highlighted. So I come up here to the control panel for the search results, and you'll see one of the options there is to save this as a visual filter. And so I'm going to save this as a visual filter. Also take note, you can save this as a passage list, save this as a visual filter, save this as a word list. Okay, this is where you're really going to generate more of your documents this way than the manual way. So saving this as a visual filter opens up this new untitled visual filter window. I'm going to call this my chesed highlights. All right, and you'll notice now there's already populated here a search string, the lemma, the Hebrew lemma for chesed, and all that really is required is for you to select a certain kind of formatting, okay? And let me get rid of the search window for now. That takes away the highlight there. All right, and so let's just say I want, anytime a chesed appears, what do I want to do? I want to do the inline pointers. Okay. And you'll see what it just did there. It just put the inline pointers there around the word loving kindness. Or let's say I don't want the inline pointers. Let's say I want a color box. Whatever you want to do, if you want to color it red or color it pink, purple, gray, green. So this is what a visual filter does. Okay. And it will stay open. I mean, it will stay colored until you either delete the visual highlight or until you deselect the visual highlight. And you can always toggle those on and off in each Bible window. I've got more visual filters than I even remember. And you can see this one here, which is the Chesed highlights. If I want to toggle that on and off, I can. See, it's gone. Or now it's back on again. So that's how that works. And those visual highlights are the more common ones that you'll see a lot. I've got visual highlights for the universal church. I've got visual highlights for agape and phileo love. I've got other visual highlights that I've just created over the years and for different reasons at different times. And now I've got this blessed happy visual highlight. So you'll notice when I go to Matthew 5, all of these blessed are the poor in spirit, or blessed are those who mourn, all of those have been crossed off with happy. Happy are the poor in spirit, happy are those who mourn, happy are the gentle. Now, if I want to share this visual filter, rather than just teaching folks how to manually do it for themselves, there is a way to share. So right here in the blessed happy visual filter window, now I'm going to click the share button. I can either make it public and share it with the whole Logos universe, or I can share it with a group, any group where I'm a member of, or a follower or an admin, if they grant sharing privileges. So I'm going to share it with Austin Bible Church. And I'm going to click done. So now it's going to be available for anybody at the Austin Bible Church group. And by the way, you can probably test that right now. My suspicion is if you come up here to documents and you select groups, and then you come over here to the particular group and you select Austin Bible Church, it's going to be right there at the bottom. It's going to be the blessed happy. These are all the documents that I've shared with the Austin Bible Church group. Are you seeing them? Are you looking for them? Okay. So then when you highlight one of them, you'll have a chance to come up here where it says add to your docs. And then by adding it to your docs, then you'll have it inside your Logos. And instead of groups, you'll see it there under yours. And you'll see it showing up under yours. And then once it's showing up under yours, then you can toggle it on and off in your default Bible. You can come over here to your Bible visual filters, and you can select your blessed happy, and like so. Any questions on that? Again, that's documents. It's probably useful every so often to look at the groups, select the Austin Bible Church group, see what's in there, see what's available. this agapao, agape, phileo, philos visual filter. That's the one that color codes the agapes and the phileos, green and blue. The church bulletin prayer list, the how to pray for your pastor prayer list. The visual filter that puts in those Genesis 6, 11 through 13 redundancies. That's kind of cool. If you want to select that, add that to your docs, you can. And then when you go to Genesis 6, 11 through 13, you'll have all those colors in there to highlight the Genesis 6, 11 through 13 redundancies that we had identified when we were looking through those verses.
Do you know why they affiliate these filters with docs instead of tools?
I think because, yeah, I think so a doc is something that, so a tool is something that everybody has, or those with the unlocked packages have. They're not really user generated content. They're still Logos generated content, but a doc is always a user created content. A Logos user is the one who made this prayer list, who made this visual filter, who made this passage list. So I think that's the main difference on that.
Okay. So I went and I tried to add the visual filter. So when I click the little three buttons, or not the three buttons, the three dots,
Right?
is it supposed to show up in that little pull down somewhere?
It should be the bottom one. Yeah. If you have resources, community notes, media. I have 8 of them. How many do you have?
Let's see, you're under, well, you have 8 top level menus. Okay.
Right.
I don't have 8. I do have visual filters though.
Okay. And then when you expand it, are there any that are found under there?
Expand all. It doesn't really expand in anything. It doesn't, visual filters, that category does not have any subcategories.
Okay. Well, then there aren't any saved. So what happens when you come up to docs and you select yours, and then under the filter, if you select the type visual filter, do you have any in your document?
Type visual filter. Yeah, I've got the Blessed Happy. Yep.
Okay.
So that's in there.
Ah, you know what? Okay, go ahead and open it.
Okay, it's open.
And
Yep.
it probably, what does it say? Does it say search all Bible texts and all passages in what Bible?
In all Bibles for lemma, and then it's got like a formula kind of thing there.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
Bible.
yeah. Yep,
Okay,
yep, just like you got there. Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
So then that should be good. So when you go to Psalm 1:1, does it show up in your text?
What just hold on, something just happened. It's taking me to Psalm 128:2. Oh, I have a Psalm 1:1. No, it's still how blessed.
Okay. In your visual filter window, you have the search string on the left, and then you have the highlight on the right. What it is, is it filled in with anything, or is it does it show a blessed happy highlight?
Yeah, so it has blessed happy. Oh, so okay, I gotta pick one. Okay,
Ah,
so I picked red. Okay, so now it's highlighted it in red, so it highlighted blessed. Okay,
Right.
but it didn't change it like yours
Okay.
did.
Yeah, the problem you might be having is that this is actually a custom highlight. So you
Okay.
have the visual filter, but you don't have the custom highlight. So if you go to Tools and open up your highlights, and I have a shortcut on my bar for highlights because I use highlights a lot. Show highlighting.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's on the Tools for highlighting.
Yeah.
Then how many do you have under your highlights? You probably have the top 5 maybe.
Solid colors. There's a whole list of stuff.
Yeah, go ahead and just go to the top level. So collapse all the headings.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I see. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Solid colors, emphasis markup, highlighter pens, and inductive/precept.
Okay, and then you have a chance to make a new palette.
Yes.
Make a new
Yep.
palette and just call
Yep.
it, Carl's custom highlights.
Okay. Okay.
I called mine new practice palette. And then go ahead and add a new style. And this one, it's untitled. Call it your blessed happy style. And then come down to borders and lines. Want a solid line. Make it as thick as you want it. And then select the strike through there.
Okay.
And then under insert text, you want to insert text after. And then I recommend you put a space first and then the word happy. That'll help set it apart from the strike through text that has preceded it. All right. So as soon as you have that with the strike through and the text after happy, come to the top of the highlighting and select save. And now you should have your blessed happy highlight there.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if you want, I mean, you don't really need to give it a shortcut key, but you can if you want to. That's what I've done with my custom highlights or with my solid colors. Yes, I put keyboard shortcuts of G, P, R, and Y for green, purple, red, and yellow. But you can do that later. All right, so now as soon as you have that done, then you can come back over here to the visual filter and select it now. You should find it at the bottom underneath all your other ones. If you called it Carl's Custom Highlights.
Yep, it was at the bottom. Yeah.
Then go ahead and select it. And probably within 3 seconds of selecting it, if you still have your Baba window open, you should see those changes put into effect.
Yeah, I can see blessed kind of crossed out. And yeah, it worked. It's not as centered as yours, but it definitely, there's a line through it.
Okay.
So
Well, there you go.
yeah, that worked.
And so I have done 2 of these now where I've changed words. The other one that I did was in my Ron Rhodes text. Every time he had 80-30 in his text, I crossed off the 80-30 and I replaced it with 80-33.
Ah,
And so that's a visual filter as well. And I titled this one Rhodes 80-30 to 33, and searching all text in a chronological tour through the Bible for the phrase 80-30 and applying this this particular custom highlight. So there you have it.
okay. All right. Well, thanks for walking me through that.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, this is stuff I just learned how to do myself, and I've been using this for nearly 30 years. So there's a learning curve for all of this. Now I don't need. I'm gonna go ahead and delete these practice ones I just made. All right. So they are deleted and gone. All right. So the documents. These are the things that you yourself are creating, including notebooks. The notes are still under tools, but the notebooks are considered documents. All right. And then sharing them is a matter of just opening them up and clicking the share. And that way you can share them. Also now management. You want to know about management. In the About screen, where it has your information there, and it has your account, then it says Manage Document Sharing. That's just a way to open up documents.logos.com, because nobody ever remembers documents.logos.com. But if you do open that URL and you sign in with your Faith Life credentials, your Logos credentials, then all of your documents are kept here, okay? Including the ones that you're sharing, the ones that you're not sharing. So they're either shared or they're private. And if they're shared with however many groups they're shared with, they'll show up there. Now you notice this Blessed Happy giving me an alert. Your groups do not have the latest version of this document. Apparently, the one I published is older than the latest version. So I'll go ahead and update that. Click that to publish and update. All right, so now my group has the most recent one. If I look at all the ones that I've shared, if I decide, let's see, just if I decide, you know, I don't really need to share this one anymore, this Colossians 4:7-9 colorized, or the Christ Above All memory book, you know what? We did that 2 summers ago. We're not really doing that anymore. I don't really need to share this anymore. So I'll come over here to Actions, and I can withdraw, remove this document from groups. Anyway, this is what the managed documents is all about. And I don't use it a whole lot. One of the best things to use it for, though, is coming up here to your deleted document. If you saw me a minute ago, I just deleted my practice palette. And that highlighting palette, if I want to undelete it, this is the place to undelete it. In fact, everything I've deleted is here. And if I really want to go back and find it, like this Gnosis or Epignosis visual filter, I created it on October 7th, I deleted it, decided I don't really need it anymore. But if I ever decide, you know what, I'm going to go back and get that again, Logos has saved everything, even the things that I've deleted. All these untitled canvases, where I was practicing drawing canvases. All these things, Day of the Lord master passage list. If I've deleted it, Logos is saving it here. So that's another benefit to coming to the manage documents. Yeah, you can undelete. Anyway, that's the utility there. Also, last week, I think Carl was asking about the timeline data set. I did find it. It is available for 20 bucks. There are a ton of data sets, 108 of them all together. And when you do purchase a collection, bronze, silver, gold, and so forth, if you decide you are going to go to a larger collection at some point, I recommend that. Otherwise, if you just start picking these up, a la carte, they are available to do that. 108 of them are available. But the timeline data set is by itself is 20 bucks. All right. Let me get my notebook back open again. This is my Logos Tuesday training notebook. All right, docs, guides, document sharing, filter for happy. All right, I think we've done. Any more questions on docs? Yeah, I mean, you've already noticed there's a lot of these I've never used, like the sentence diagram. I got to find a tutorial to learn how to use that. The canvas, again, a tutorial to do that would be helpful. This is the drawing canvas, and if you want to insert a verse, you can, and then all the shapes and colors that go into this. I'm the least artistic person you've ever met in your life. So I don't know what I would do with any of this stuff. Anyway, that's an untitled canvas. And it shows up at the top because it's my most recent document as my untitled canvas. And I'm just going to delete it. And now I'll find it next time I go in there and manage my documents. All right. Any other questions on documents? Prayer lists, those are useful. I have several prayer lists. I think I have like 4 prayer lists. There we go. Pastor's prayer list, that's the Friday morning group with Robbie Dean. Church bulletin prayer list, how to pray for your pastor. I don't know how I ended up with 2 of those. I probably just need to delete one and rename the other one.
So your notes and the import, we talked about this a few weeks ago, because Doug had mentioned something about having the notes imported into his Logos, but I guess they have to be in Microsoft Word docx. I don't have Microsoft Word, but if I have the file and import the file, does Logos, can I still open a Word document in the Logos window without having Microsoft Word on my computer?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it actually doesn't open it, but it actually reads from it in creating the personal book.
Okay.
So, yeah, in fact, there you go. Let me make a personal books.
Because I guess through the Bible, those notes are going to be released the week prior in doc format or PDF?
Yeah, so good question. And here's a tease for you. That's day one. And the day one document, I already used the personal book builder to make a Logos book out of it. And when I search my library for TTB, I have already done the first 15 days worth, and I've compiled day 1 through 8 into week 1 and day 9 through 15 into week 2. So yeah, that's I'm going to be using those as I'm teaching. I'm kind of holding off on distributing them until the year is over, and then we're able to release the entire thing. But let me show you how it's done, and then if week by week by week, if this is something you also want to do, or if you just want to do something from a recently completed study. So that's another thing. So let me just see. Have I done the Philemon one yet? I have, the Philemon series notebook. All right, so let me show you how to do this. So let's close everything, and under tools, you have a utility called personal books. You see, you see it?
Yes, I opened it, and I
Yeah.
haven't made any personal books yet.
Okay. So then, let me send you some things to work with here. Let me scan on down to Philemon. There we go. Okay, so I need to send you these files. Stand by. All right, Carl, you want me to email these to you? Let me see.
Sure.
Or if I can share them in a folder. Here we go. I'm just going to find a way to give you this link.
You're trying to look for a way through Logos or just email?
I'm gonna use Microsoft OneDrive and copy a link. All right. All right, so what happens, let me put this in here, and Ed, you could try this too, or Bill, you can try this. I'm gonna put a link in the chat window, and that should open up a folder in OneDrive. Or I just shared a directory. There we go. So it should just open up in your browser. There is a Hebrews notebook and a Philemon notebook. Are you seeing those?
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and download those and make your own personal copies.
So there's 4, I guess the other 2 are PDF.
There, 2 should be docx and 2 should be JPEG.
Oh, okay. Mm,
This would be good. I've been meaning to do this for some time now.
okay.
Creating an online library of personal book files that I can share with people. So do you have those 4 downloaded yet into a folder?
I got 1 downloaded.
Okay.
I sort of have 1. I don't know. I kind of downloaded. So what should we do it in a particular order? The cover first and then the file, or does it not matter?
I don't think it matters. You just want to have them. You just want to have the 2 JPEGs and the 2 docx's saved in a directory that you can get to.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I'm still I'm getting them downloaded into a directory.
Okay.
I got mine, Bob.
You got
I
yours?
got mine you sent me.
Yeah, I think I got mine now too.
All right. Well, then go ahead and with personal books open, go ahead and select add a book. And when you add a book, it's going to bring up an entry utility very similar to what you see on the screen here. And you just need to fill in the library information with a title. You can call it the same thing I call it or not. It's up to you. I just call mine like Philemon series notebook, Hebrew series notebook, etc. I try to have consistency so that it shows up the same way in my library. And then author, Bollinger, Robert, Bollinger, Bob, whichever you prefer. You don't have to populate a copyright field if you want. Monograph is fine. Language, English is fine. Now, to the left there for the cover photo, it's either an add button or a change button. I think it's an add button. Click add. That's where you want to go through and find the folder where you just saved those JPEG images, because those are going to be your cover photos. So depending on whether you started with Philemon or Hebrews, go and pick that JPEG image. Did you get it?
Yep. I'm
Okay.
doing the Philemon. Yep.
Okay, so you have the Philemon cover there, and then under add body files, you want to click add file, and it'll probably open up the same folder where you just found the JPEG. Select the docx for your file, That's the body of your book. And then you should be able to build book. When you build book, it'll take a few seconds. And when it's done, it'll probably say, 3 errors and 2 warnings or something like that. And then when it's built, you can then open it.
Yeah, mine just opened automatically in the right half of the screen.
There you go. Then you can come back here to the left on personal books, and you can click finish.
So I'll go back. What did you just do?
There'll be a finish button underneath the build book.
Oh. Oh, I see. Okay.
All right. And now you should have one book now in your personal books utility.
So I have a note next to conclusion. Was that your note or mine?
I don't know what you mean. Oh,
Oh.
next to conclusion.
I have the aorist active writing of this epistle was done per the perfect active participles of pathio and oida. I don't remember writing that.
No, this would all be, these are all part of the notebook.
So when you make the notebook, then you embedded a Logos note, like there's a little sticky note icon next to conclusion.
Really? What happens when you click that? That's yours. That's not mine.
Oh, yeah,
You
it's
probably have a note attached to Philemon 21 or somewhere 21
yes,
through 25.
Philemon 21. Yeah, then I must have done that 2 months ago.
Okay. So if you open a Bible to Philemon 21, do you see that same sticky note in there somewhere?
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, so that was mine. So it somehow
Mm-hmm.
affiliated that note with your conclusion.
Well, so in the Philemon series notebook, open up your table of contents pane there. You're going to see the different sections of the book, from the title to the introduction, salutation. These are all the different sections. But these sections are also versified. So if I come up here to the Go box and I just start typing in, Philemon verse 10, it's going to show me the different sections, like verses 8 through 20 or verses 10 through 25. Anyway, you can just do Philemon 10, and you see that's the appeal for Onesimus section there.
Pastor,
Yes.
how are you creating the table of contents in your
The
book?
table of contents is generated when you build the personal book, and it reads. So in your Word document, you want to use heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Those are formatting styles inside Microsoft Word.
Yes.
And Logos reads those and uses those for the table of contents. You also want to put in, if you want to versify your book, you want to put in the milestone tags for those books. So let me show you, for example. I'll put this on the screen so you can see it. There are some tags in here. There you go. Like under salutation,
Yes.
where you have the bracket at Bible Philemon 1 through 3 bracket. This is particular HTML markup code that versifies your personal book. It puts those Bible reference milestones in there.
Is there a reference for those
There
codes?
is. Yes, there is. And it's inside your Logos. Where it's a help feature. Here we go.
Okay.
Help for this feature, personal books, and then personal book syntax right below that.
So
Okay,
that's
great.
hyperlinks, right? That tells you how to create the hyperlink.
Yep. You can have regular internet hyperlinks, or you can have internal Logos hyperlinks and milestones. And those are important too. You really want to get good at those if you're going to do more and more of those. So feel free, yeah, make yourself a Philemon notebook, make yourself a Hebrews notebook. You've got the files for those now.
I've made almost 30 books, picking up articles and PDF files and converting them over into the book. And I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Yes, it's very handy. It's very handy to do. Well, good. I'm glad we had a chance to review this tonight.
So then, back to the through the Bible thing. So I guess so the notes will be released the week prior, I guess. Or how does that work?
Yeah, so Warren Dowd is compiling the daily notes into a weekly format. But I think he's doing those in PDF format. I think it might be more useful for you in the, have you signed up on this page yet? ttb2022.com?
I haven't yet. I was kind of waiting to see what that provides. I remember you went a little bit into that in one of your lessons recently.
Right. Well, one thing it's going to provide is it's going to provide, for example, these outlines here. So essentially, that right there, that's the text
Okay.
that would be in the Word document.
All right. Well, then that's great. Then that gives us something to follow along with. And
Exactly.
And you want to sign up with, Carl, you want to sign up with Warren and get on the grace notes. You could even take a little test at the end of it, weekly or bi-weekly or whatever.
Yeah, Warren is creating weekly quizzes
with TTB.
for Grace Notes TTB. Yes.
Yeah, you need to get signed up on that. You would enjoy that. And I've already printed the notes. I don't have Microsoft, but they print it off with no problem, so that I have something to, when Pastor Bob teaches, I'll have something, in writing to go through it.
Right. Yeah, it helps with us too to have notes to kind of follow and then add our own notes too, and it just helps reinforce what is being taught.
Yep.
Warren has done all that work already.
Okay.
Yep. So you can either get those PDFs from Warren, or you can come here to ttb2022.com and you can just cut and paste from here. Highlight the outline, copy it, and then come back to Logos and paste it into a note.
Okay.
That would be another way of doing it.
Right. Since I don't have Word. Right.
You don't have Word. I don't have Word either.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, you could definitely come along and you can add a note and you can paste it, and there's the outline right there. So you might even, yeah, in fact, this could even be a great way to study. Make this a note, and give it a title for, like, this is TTB Day 2. And just create it in a TTB notebook. Start saving them there. Do you remember how to make a notebook?
There's a lot in my head.
Okay.
I think I have a notebook from one of our practice times.
Right. So it's in the sidebar. To the right of filters are your notebooks. And if you want to make a new notebook, an ABC, TTB, class notes, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I do have another notebook in here called Training Day.
Okay. So just, make a new one, call it, whatever, ABC, TDB, class notes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, ABC TTB 2022 notes.
Okay, there you go. And if you want to just, add a new note for every day you're listening to.
Yeah, so that's good because we can add spaces and stuff in there and then add our own stuff.
Oh, totally can, yeah.
And comments in between.
Yep.
Yeah, that works out pretty good.
Yeah, in fact, that may be a marvelous way of doing it until we're ready to publish the entire Through the Bible notebook.
I guess if we wanted to make our font different to differentiate between our notes and your notes within that note, we'd have to just highlight it and make it italic or something using those little font properties buttons
Yeah.
up the top there, I guess.
There's a toolbar up in here, and
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, whatever you want to do with that, I recommend that.
All right. So I didn't know that about the so when we sign up for 20 that was her name Dawn Weeks or
Christine.
Christine Weeks? When we sign up through her site, then that's where we get those notes from once we join.
Right.
And then Warren Dowd is the other. He's got the PDFs.
He's got the PDFs. Yeah.
And a quiz to help reinforce what we've gone over that week.
Right. And those are the quizzes that he's using with his Grace Note students around the world.
Okay.
But this reading plan is just marvelous. I see she added a PDF calendar right there. See 6 pages if you want to print that off. You got the whole reading schedule. And then it'll track your progress as you finish each day. And when we record the videos, they will show up here. This will get imported from the church YouTube channel. But here's the notes for day 1. So yeah, she doesn't. I think she has the first week's worth or the first 2 weeks worth. No, not yet available. Notes aren't yet there. She might just have the first 8 days, maybe. I'm not sure how far in advance she intends to. No, day 8 is there. Anyway, I'm leaving that up to her. Yeah, this is a sweet website. I'm liking this a lot. All right. Well, this has been good. I'm glad we did this. So we have covered docs, guides. We haven't done guides. There's so many guides. Passage guide, word study guide, exegetical guide. Remind me next week, we'll do guides next week. All right, any other questions? General questions? Frustrations, appreciations? Who've been using the software more often?
Yeah, it's just going to take a lot of time and poking at and putzing with and fumbling and going back and watching the videos over and over and over again, and it just takes time.
Yep, yep.
So we have one more class then on the 28th.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, we'll just see how it goes. We get into a routine on through the Bible, and if we decide we got enough to add, we can add another Logos night at some point, Monday night or something, Sunday evening. I don't know. I'm probably going to be pretty exhausted by dinner time Sunday.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate it.
Integrate a little Logos training along the way too. That seems to work better for me. Is a little bit here, a little bit there.
Right. Also, I think a lot of folks are asking more and more questions about the app for their phone or their tablet or their iPad or whatever it is they're using.
Yeah, they're going to
And
use that more than they're going to sit in front of the computer. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah. So I got to find somebody that can do some training on that and bring them in to show us some of those features.
So it won't be me, Bob.
Yeah, me either. I'm going to use it on my computer. My phone's too small.
Well, I'm learning to use it on my iPad, but I'm one of the few people that actually have an iPad, or that bring it, I think. Some people do. And then you got a question of whether you got an Apple phone or a Google phone or whatever kind of phone you got, too.
Right, because the apps are different. The Android app is different from the Apple app. Okay. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to stop the recording.